Hello, dear people. How are you all doing? Welcome back. You're watching Raving with Rua here on my YouTube channel called Songs from the Rua Room. This is a YouTube channel dedicated to singer-songwriters from Belgium and beyond. And it's great to have you here on this Sunday afternoon. It is the 26th of April in the year of the great coronavirus. I don't even know what year it is. 2020, I think. How are you all? It's great to see you. If you're watching on YouTube, which I hope you are, I hope you'll consider subscribing to the show. Hit that subscribe button there, please, and ring that notification bell, and you'll get all the videos that appear here on the show. You won't miss a thing. If you are so inclined, my virtual tip jar is also always open there in the comment section below, and you can donate to the show that way if you want to. Of course, you can always go onto the ruaroom.com, have a look at the shop there. There are t-shirts and mugs and all kinds of goodies in the store there. And, you know, every little helps if you want to buy something from the shop. It helps me keep this thing going. So I hope you're all very fine. If we've got a few regular watchers already coming in here live, thank you all for joining us. If you have any comments, put them up there in the comment section, and I might stick them on the screen. Hi Anna, great to see you. Thanks for tuning in. A few regular viewers already. It's great. If you're watching on the Facebook, please share it out with your friends there. Let them know you're watching, or maybe start a watch party. And of course, consider following along there on social media. All links, again, theruaroom.com will bring you to all the social media links over there. As always, today, the live stream brought to us courtesy of the great people of G-Sharp Guitars, the world's finest travel electric guitars, gsharpguitars.com. G-Sharp Guitars invented by Oyvind Fjell there over in Norway. So yeah, check them out. Who else is here at the moment? Philip is here. Hi Philip, thank you for dropping in. Great to see you all. If you have comments or questions for me or my guest, please leave them up there on the screen and we'll get to you if we can. So yeah, I met my guest today, I believe, it was a couple of years ago now, but I believe it was at a house concert in Antwerp. If memory serves, and I've been a fan ever since, and I'm very, very happy that you could join us here today for a chat and to listen to her songs. Please welcome the uber talented Elisabeth Daniel. Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing, girl?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, very welcome. Great to see you. How are
You
things
too.
going there in the middle of all the lockdown stuff that's going on? Are you keeping busy?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's different from before, and work-wise, it's been challenging. But that being said, I have a roof over my head and food in my belly, and I'm safe and I'm well. So I shouldn't complain. And I've been keeping busy the last few weeks. Things have been picking up again, and I've been writing a bit and taking guitar lessons with this super nice guitar teacher,
Really?
Tahi Rua.
Who?
You!
Oh yeah, me. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
You're my guitar student as well. Yes, you are. I do guitar
Yeah.
lessons, folks, online. If anybody wants them, there you go. There's the plug. But
Yeah, well,
I know. I want. Do you have that lovely guitar nearby there? Because I want to talk about it later. But it's on the video. But you have a beautiful Gibson guitar. Maybe when the video is playing, you can go and get it if it's not packed away.
No, it's
so we can have
there.
a talk about it because it's a special instrument.
It is.
Really is. Yeah, absolutely. How's the songwriting process going? I know you have different projects happening over there. You're in a few different things, but let's start with yourself and your own background. I know you, of course, as you're a trained singer and a wonderful violin player to begin with. Where did all that begin for you?
Well, I come from a pretty musical family. I thought that was really normal. So my dad, he used to play the piano, the organ, the guitar. He'd been playing music all his life. And then my mom, she had a really lovely singing voice when she was younger. So I remember the two of them singing together. And so, I used to sit on my dad's lap and just sing songs and make up songs. So that was part of my family life. And then when I was 5, I don't remember how it happened, but I do remember that I started asking my mom to play the violin. So, but my mom was like, she's really young, she's 5, but I was determined. So for 2 freaking years, I kept on asking to play the violin until they finally caved. And so they got me this 3/4 violin, and they found me a teacher because I was too young to go to music school. And so I started taking private lessons, and couldn't read notes, couldn't read sheet music, didn't know the first thing about violin, but I loved it, and so I started. Yeah,
That's how it began. And
yeah.
what about the singing end of things then? Was that a bit later?
Well, I remember always singing, so there was not a time when I wasn't singing.
Okay.
But I do remember my grandmother telling me that she used to be like an amateur opera singer when she was younger. And then she told my mom, and my mom didn't tell me until I was all grown up, but that she was like, that girl should be a singer. So, and she wasn't the warm fuzzy type, she was
Really?
tough. Yeah, she was tough
This
as
was
nails.
your grandma, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She was tough as nails, but she saw the singer in me, which I thought was really cool. And so at 16, I was allowed to start taking singing lessons in the music academy of Morzel, where I was trained initially. And so I
Yes.
started taking classical singing lessons there, and then I had a couple of teachers. Then I went to Leuven for my studies, and then after 2 years, I stopped taking lessons. And then after I graduated and started working, I took up private lessons with Lucienne van Dijk. She's a well-known classical singer and teacher. She's retired now, but she was absolutely brilliant, and I learned so much from her. Just in terms of vocal control. And then I stopped lessons for a long time, but then I started singing professionally. And then um, after that, I found another teacher in Antwerp, Hannelore Primus, and just not classical. And so I learned a lot from her as well. Yeah.
Okay, so your background, you could safely say, is a
Yeah.
classical music background,
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
much. So you obviously read the notations, and you write. You can read and write music pretty well. But
Yeah.
do you do that when you write songs? Do you find
Not
that
at all.
that's not at all? No, it's often hard. I was going to ask. So, but do you find that that's a help musically? I mean, it must be to have all of these brilliant, to have the skill to play fiddle and to play other instruments when it comes to
Yeah.
songwriting. Yeah.
I mean, it is really useful, and when I get partitions, it's easy to read, and it's and also because you learn to listen to music, it's easy to sing harmonies, and to just kind of, even if you don't know the song, you can start singing harmonies once you kind of hear how things work and
Yeah.
kind of type of progression that's going to happen. And I don't know much about chords, so that's the thing that I didn't learn in this whole classical thing. So I'm learning that now, and because it just pieces different things together, it's all logical, but still that's not my strength at this point. um but yeah, when I write, it's really most often it's just pen and paper, so it's just the melodies in my head, and I hear
Yeah.
the kind of chords and the sound that I want, but I
Is
write down words, and then I just sing a melody over it.
do you find that it's like when you talk about your writing process, do you find it's always kind of lyric first, or are you very kind of melody driven and then you try to find words around that, or what's your how does your process go?
It varies. Sometimes I have a little tune in my head, and then the words come later. Or I have a chorus, and then I add the rest to the song. Or I have some words that I eventually put music to. So
Yeah.
it really depends on how things
How things
work in my
go.
head. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone is different, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, I've always been lyric first, and
Okay.
yeah, I try to make music. Yeah, but I suppose that's it. And I suppose I think for people who do have kind of deeper musical training, maybe they sort of gravitate towards the music first. I don't know. I think some maybe again it varies from person to person. But
Yeah.
yeah, I always ask that question because it's such a varied response. It's always nice to hear. Is that your little home studio that you're in there at the moment?
Yeah. I have a kind of office upstairs. Um,
'Cause you're in
and
Brussels. You're from Antwerp, right? But you're living
Yeah,
in Brussels.
I live in the
Brussels.
in
In
Zaventem,
Zaventem.
actually, just outside Brussels. Don't
Yeah.
tell my husband I said it's Brussels, because
Uh
he'll be
oh.
like, "No, this is not
Yeah,
Brussels."
it's not. Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. Brussels airport town.
Yeah,
Um,
indeed.
And so yeah, but I'm originally from Antwerp, but then moved to Leuven when I was 18, and then spent some time abroad. And but yeah, most of
And
my
you have
time
your
I
little setup there. This is your attic
yeah
space, your working space.
yeah
Yeah,
yeah it is
great to have
yeah
that there, of course.
yeah
Um, let's go straight into a song because while we're speaking of the attic space,
yeah
you're playing this beautiful Gibson guitar in this video, and
yeah
we might talk about that guitar when the song is over, because there's a lovely story behind it as well. It's
yeah
a Gibson Hummingbird, but this is recorded literally in the same room, yeah. Yeah.
yeah in
So
this
yeah, it is.
very
This
like
is very
kind of in
sofa.
this spot. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it was brilliant. And the song is called Storm. I know you introduced it in the video, but I'm going to ask you to introduce it yourself now.
Okay. So this is a song that I started writing when my mom was diagnosed with a severe illness a couple of years ago. And I remember the sadness got stuck in my throat. So I couldn't really sing very well for a couple of days. And I remember at one point just kind of the, the determination to say, okay, this is a storm. This is tough. This is sad. It's okay to have all these emotions, but I'm not going to allow it to steal my joy, and I'm not going to allow it to steal my voice. So I wrote a song to the storm.
To
And,
the storm that was happening at the time, yeah,
yeah.
lovely. And this is it. Well, let's give it a play, folks. The wonderful Elisabeth Daniel, and just live on the sofa doing what she does. Storm.
Messing with my body, you may be ruining my health, but I decide the thoughts that linger, and you ain't messing with my head. 'Cause my mind's in control and I fear lost its hold over my life. 'Cause my mind's in control and I fear lost its hold over my life. So I call to the storm and say it's raging in the wrong land. Joining me in my bed. You try to mute my song, but I'm gonna sing louder. Try to keep me down, but I'm gonna stand prouder. You're playing fiddle on my heartstrings, trying to colonize my mind, but I'm blowing you away now. You've got another turf to find. I fear lost its hold over my life. It's my mind's in control and I fear lost its hold over my life. So I call to the storm and say it's raging in the wrong hand. So storm, I'm off to sleep and you're not joining me in my bed. You try to mute my song, but I'm gonna sing louder. Try to keep me down, but I'm gonna stand. Joining me in my bed. You try to mute my song, but I'm gonna sing louder. Try to keep me down, but I'm gonna stand prouder. My mind's in control and I fear lost its hold over my life. My mind's in control and I fear lost its hold over my life. Stay safe, everyone.
Gorgeous. Yes.
Thank you.
Very proud of my guitar student there as well, I have to say. I love the part where you just kind of go,
Yeah.
don't be going there. You put the finger up, you went, mm-mm,
Uh-uh.
I said, yeah.
You're trying to get me into the southern drawl. I hear what
I
you're
am.
doing.
I'm hoping that you'll go into that southern drawl that
Like,
you do, but no.
We'll
I ain't
get there.
going. Okay, maybe later.
I
Have,
ain't gonna do that now.
have some wine.
No.
And, yeah, no, ain't going to do it. Yeah, yeah, I know. We'll talk about the American thing later.
Yeah.
Do you have that guitar there with you by any chance?
I do.
Let's have a look at that and tell us a little bit about it.
Here it is.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean it is a beautiful guitar, and it's extra. Well, I'll kind of show
Yeah,
it.
I'll just take
Um,
a look.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, wow.
it's
Beautiful
really
hummingbird.
yeah, and I'm really really honored to have this because you know that I'm not a great guitar player yet. But my dad got this before I was born, and so
Wow.
I grew up with the sound of this guitar in the house, and so it's a strong childhood memory of my dad playing that guitar,
Yeah.
and so he gave it to me once I decided to pursue music professionally. One day he just had that guitar ready, and he was like, it's time to pass it on, and
It's amazing.
yeah.
So it's a real heirloom.
It
Yeah,
really is, and it's older than I am, and it's like I almost feel unworthy to play it, but on the other hand,
not at all. Your dad will be
I
very proud that you
know,
have it. Yeah.
yeah, and he's proud that I'm learning to play it, and he's proud of me doing what I'm doing. So,
Yeah, why
um,
wouldn't he be? Absolutely.
and so
I
yeah,
started off on my dad's old guitar. My father was watching there in Ireland, how you doing that. I started off on his old guitar as well. And my first lessons were, first of all with him, and then I got lessons from a
yeah,
man in school.
yeah,
And there's something, yeah, there is. You grow up in a house filled with music, and to see those instruments being played by your mother or your father, it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing, and
yeah.
yeah, and long may you continue to play it. It's a gorgeous guitar. I played it, of course,
It
when you
is.
play it in the Rural Room. We'll have the song. We'll have another song later where you actually play it in the Rural Room session, and it's gorgeous.
Yeah,
Sounds great. It's a
yeah,
really solid, beautiful Gibson guitar. A
yeah.
couple of more viewers there. We have Dennis from Norwich. How are you, Dennis? Lovely that you came all the way from Norwich in England to say hi to us. Who else is there? Beata is there from Germany as well. Lovely to see you, Beata. Great that you're here with us. And yeah, so lovely comments from people everywhere. Keep them coming. Lovely to see live viewers coming in there. Of course, Annegien from Belgium. Hi, hello, sweetie. One of the top fans there, Annegien. She's here for most of the
Hi
streams.
everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Lovely music made me come in from my garden because the streams didn't work well at night. Thanks, Beata. Dankeschön.
Vielen Dank.
Vielen Dank, Beata. Yeah, indeed. Thanks for coming in. We won't keep it too long out in the sunshine. I promise. We won't. When did the moment hit you where you said, "Okay, I'm sort of kind of quitting the mainstream and the work end of things, and I'm gonna pursue music as a career"? When did that happen, or what were the driving factors behind it?
There were a few moments when I had those thoughts. I mean, I knew very early on that I wanted to actually be an artist or a singer. But then, I did well in school, and you go to university, and you kind of get pushed in a direction, and I understand why. But I was 25, and I was working in a big corporate environment, and I was treated very well, and it was a good environment to be in.
Yeah.
But I also felt, with all these good things and with all those opportunities and with the nice salary and everything, that I was not fulfilled and I was not happy. And I understand that it's a luxury to have the choice to make. But I thought, if I do this until I'm old, I'm gonna always regret not following my heart. And I felt like I'm heading for burnout, so I needed to do something. And so I decided at 26 to quit. And my plan was to start pursuing music, but I was also planning a wedding at that time. And so I planned the wedding, got married, and then I just completely chickened out. I was scared. I didn't know how. I didn't have anyone in my environment that would be able to help me at the time. So I
Yeah.
found myself another job and became equally unhappy.
Yeah.
And then after a while, I quit once again, and I thought, oh my God, what am I doing? I am making a CV of like someone who's got no grit. I'm becoming unhireable. Anyway, fear, fear, fear. And
Yeah.
then someone hired me to work from home just for a nonprofit. And that was like, I think that's the one that really helped me start, because I was able to just be free to work whenever I wanted, as long as the job got done. I learned to work from home. I rediscovered kind of who I was and how I function, when I have a choice in how to
Yeah.
do that. And so then a couple of years later, I took the plunge, and I just plunged and then saw what happened. And that's when things started happening.
Yeah, because in our previous conversations, of course, you told me this story, of course, personally, but
Yeah.
you told me also that you had so many great people who kind of jumped to help you and
Yeah.
said, okay, kind of took you under their wing and said, look, we can
Yeah.
help you with this, we can give you some
Yeah.
contacts, and
Yeah. And that's when I took the plunge. So I made the decision, and then things started happening. And it didn't happen like overnight. There were a couple of months, and I was like, oh, what the bleep, 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 like, what am I doing?
So
But then at a certain point, I just looked up to the heavens, and I was like, you know what? If you want this to happen, you're going to have to start moving stuff around.
come
So I
on,
was
universe,
very,
give it to me.
very, yeah,
Yeah.
very feisty, and but it worked. And someone just, I mean, this is amazing, and I'm gonna have that person remain anonymous, but someone
Sure.
just gave me money to record, with no strings attached, just out of the
Amazing.
blue, never
Yeah.
asked for anything. I Then I sensed, like, just 6 weeks later, like, make free time up, because you're gonna get busier. And then all of a sudden, through a friend, she connected me. Duke de Moy, she's an artist as well. She connected me with Isaac Smit, who then became the producer of my EP. And that's how I got connected in Zwolle, and that's where I have a whole network now. So just the ball kind of slowly started rolling, and it hasn't stopped. So it's been a slow building thing, but I'm very, very grateful.
You are, but but as you said, maybe it's because of your business background, but you're fighting for it. You're driving towards that goal all the time. So
Yeah.
you are a driven individual. You are. You know what you want and you go for it. You have
Yeah,
to
it's
want
funny
that in
because,
music business. Yeah.
yeah, I don't see myself that way, but apparently that's the impression I get. So, well, okay, cool.
That's okay. And
Yeah, it's okay.
is our next song L'Alternative? Is that on the EP?
It is. Yeah.
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 And people can get your music, or get all the links through your ElisabethDaniel.com, I suppose.
Yeah.
If you're watching on Facebook, folks, you can give her page a like there. It's Elisabeth Daniel Music. All likes and shares greatly appreciated in this game, especially this day and age.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But the main website, of course, will give you links to where people can buy your music or
Yeah.
download it at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you can get my EP through me. If you want a physical copy, you can buy it on iTunes and the major music outlets, and it's also on Spotify if you want to listen to it first. So.
Fantastic. And tell us a little bit about this song and the making of the video.
Well, the song kind of just happened. I had it before I decided to pursue music. It was just a moment. And I added a bridge when we were about to record, because Isaac rightfully didn't feel that the song was finished. So I wrote a bridge really fast. It's a different version than the one on the EP. But it was fun because I was in Zwolle. I came and we were having drinks in a cafe somewhere, and I ran into the man who's playing the piano in the video. He's an amazing musician, really incredible musician. And so he was like, "Oh, see you tomorrow." And I was like, "Really? Oh, And then Isaac was like, yeah, that was like supposed to be a surprise. And then they were like, but then I found out that they
Yeah.
had planned this video clip. So I sat there in my regular clothes with no special makeup because, you know, it just kind of happened.
It happened very fast, yeah.
Very fast. But it was such a very cool thing. And I'm very grateful to everyone involved. Who made that happen?
Yeah, it's amazing sounding video too. What the story behind the song?
Yeah, I wanted to write about love, but not just like the romantic love, but the love that will lay down your life for someone you love. And I think for me, that's something that I strive towards, and I think I'm a believing person, so I believe in God, and so for me, that is a song that embodies that love that I believe in.
That's well put. Okay, well, let's have a listen to it, folks. The great Elisabeth Daniel, Alternative, and this was recorded in Holland, was it?
Yeah, in Zwolle, in a beautiful boat on the canals.
Ah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Religion, you are faithful in affliction.
Yes. You're a stunning singer, Elizabeth Daniel.
Oh,
You've been
thank
told
you.
that before, I'm sure. Philip the Cock
Yeah.
here, he hit the nail on the head. He said, "That's high." Yes, Philip, nail on the head. That is
Yeah.
high. Also beautiful. We had given you flowers and thumbs up there as well.
Aw, thank
Yeah,
you.
just yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful song. And you were right. The musicianship was stunning as well. Yeah, you have great people over there in Zwolle for sure. And
I do.
we'll talk a little bit more about that as well.
Yeah.
A little later. I'm going to shift the conversation now, and we're going to talk about prostitution and human trafficking.
Yes, let's keep it light.
Let's keep it light. The listeners didn't expect that now. So yeah, prostitution and human trafficking,
Yes.
folks. This is a photograph here of Elizabeth on a thing called the TED Talk TV. And tell us a little bit about that photograph and the TED Talk.
That photograph was taken a couple of years ago when I was invited to give a TEDx talk in Luxembourg about the volunteer work that I do with an organization called Gerut Belgium. And we work with mostly women who work in prostitution in the red light districts in Belgium, so Antwerp, Ghent, Brussels. And we focus mostly on window prostitution, but also some street prostitution in Brussels. And we do get other requests from asylum seekers or people who kind of have no way out from the situations of human trafficking, who then find us.
What was the name of the organization again?
Gerut Belgium.
Gerut Belgium. So
Yeah.
basically, do you go around to these places yourselves, or do those ladies have to come to you, or is it a bit of both?
Well, I mean, they're always welcome to come to us, but I am part of the street work team. So I grew up in Antwerp, so I decided to work with them in Antwerp.
Yeah.
And so I go into the red light districts, and so I can often be found also standing inside the windows in the brothels, just chatting with the people who work there. So I've been doing.
You must
that
have a
for
few funny stories from that.
Oh.
If, on a lighter note, if you're standing in a window in a red light district in Amsterdam,
most definitely,
with your long blonde hair.
Yeah, but I keep my clothes on, so it's.
Oh, do you? Okay,
I do.
that's something. So that could be a kind of a sign that yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have any funny moments?
Oh, for
apart
sure.
From, you did, apart from the serious stuff. And what exactly? Yeah. So these ladies, tell us a bit more about the hands-on work of that you do, and what these ladies expect, or what you bring to them.
Well, I just go into the district and I try to just build relationships with the women who go there. And, you can't force friendship. You can't force relationships. So obviously there are people who don't want to talk to me. There are people that you just don't click with, and that's okay. But what we try to do is to make sure that everybody has our number. So in case they need help, in case they need help with, like social work issues, or maybe just finding an apartment, or maybe finding their way to Dutch or English lessons, or whatever it is, that they have a number to call. And we do have people there who are not free, even though they have a door that they could walk out of, but they are being forced into prostitution. And so we have had women who have called us with a cry for help.
Yeah. And is there not like an added level of danger just doing that, if these women are being controlled, for example, by someone in the background,
mm-hmm.
and they get wind of you guys going to trying to help these women, does that not create a kind of a dodgy or a strange or a dangerous situation for the organization?
Well, obviously we are careful. So far, I have not been physically harassed or threatened. But obviously, we know we are being watched at times, and we don't leave our personal phone numbers with women we suspect are not free. I don't hand out my personal address unless it's a long-standing friendship, and I know that they are free to make their own choice. And also, I think one of the reasons we don't get harassed on the street at least in the district, is that there's a lot of police presence in those streets as well. So
Yeah, I was going to ask it's regulated like Amsterdam.
yeah,
These women have access to the police should
yeah,
they need them. Is that right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so that's something. And then, but yeah, it's I was just curious about how it worked and if there was a danger element because it sounds to
Yeah.
me a little dangerous, a little seedy at times.
Well, I mean, we do have groups of men who kind of follow us around all the time, or who kind of walk very closely to us, or who follow us the whole time that we are there, or they follow us back to the office. And then obviously we don't go into the office; we just walk around, or we sit down somewhere until they stop following us. I've had one time that I was walking away from a team building dinner, and I was dressed a bit more festively than I would
Hmm.
usually be when I walk into the district, and so there was this car, and you start recognizing the people. So this car started, driving very slowly next to me, and I walked to my car. I locked the doors, but they would stand next to me in the car. So you do have stuff like that happens, and then it's
Yeah,
just, it's a game of chicken, really. So the trick is to just not back down.
yeah. You're not easily intimidated. I'd
No,
say no, no way.
no, because
No,
I'm not
you
there.
can't
Like
be in that
I'm
job.
not there for. I'm not there for me. I'm there to be a safe place, even if it's just a listening ear to women who get isolated. Because however you look at prostitution, there is still a kind of double standard. There is still a sort of stigma, and so it's very hard to be a sex worker and have a normal social life, especially when you're here from a different country and you don't have
Sure.
another network.
Well,
It is hard
maybe,
and it is
yeah, it is.
lonely.
But it's great work that you're doing, and kudos for that. What we'll do is we can maybe leave a link after this in the info section below in the YouTube video. If anybody needs to use the link, we'll leave it in. Perhaps
Sure.
it'd be nice to do that. And you wrote a song about it, of course. When you came
I've
to
written
play
a
in
few songs
you've written a
about
few
it. Yeah.
songs about it. I'd say, yeah.
Yeah.
The one you performed was in the RWR room, the old RWR room in Ghent. And it's called Monday Song, and we'll play that next. Obviously, it's connected. Do you want to say a little bit about that actual song, or is it
Yeah.
self-explanatory?
Yeah. I mean, I think the lyrics will speak for itself. But it's more like I have a strong hope against all odds sometimes. And I think that is what keeps me going. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a song of hope in darker times, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, let's have a listen. This is Elisabeth Daniel, folks, and it's called Monday Song. It's lovely. From live from the RWR room.
She stands there with her bowl with its last grain of rice, while her mother's digging up some of yesterday's supplies from a dumpster. She stands there with her pimp selling sex to provide, while her kids are out of school. People choose to close their eyes to the trauma of the youngsters. And I feel this wave of blackness swell, shadowing hope from my heart's inner well. But I'll reconnect with the source of light, shifting darkness, and I'll channel light. I'll reconnect with the source of light, shifting darkness, and I'll channel light. She's cultivating weeds, nothing else ever grows, so she shovels the dry land, even though she's too old. But she's fighting and surviving. But I feel this wave of blackness swell, shadowing hope
outstanding performance. I remember it well. You
Yeah,
came in
me
and
too.
yeah, I remember it well. We had good old laugh that morning doing that.
Yeah, that was fun.
It might have broken up a little bit there. I don't know. Did you see it disconnecting a little bit?
Yeah, I
Yeah, it
did.
did. It did. It's
But
just
I thought it
technology
was
for you.
on. I thought
Yeah,
it
I
was on
wasn't
mine.
sure.
Oh well.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
But listen,
But
everybody will
thank you
check
for having me there.
Oh, that was a pleasure. It was a pleasure to get you on.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've been a fan. I think we met at Noreen's house
Yeah,
in
we did.
Antwerp, and
Yeah.
yeah, you know.
And I had
I'm
just started out. I was very shy.
had you? Was it really?
Yeah.
Had you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you weren't shy that night. You weren't shy.
Oh, stop it.
You weren't shy. You weren't shy that night, girl. You were not. Must have been the wine.
No
No,
comment.
you weren't. You were shy. You were shy. So yes, that was a great song. But I was going to ask you about other projects. You're in a few other projects, at least 2 other projects.
Yeah.
One is Prospective. Maybe you want to speak a little bit about that.
Yeah. So Perspective started in a very funny way. So this friend of the producer of my EP, Elisabeth Daniel, he heard L'Alternative, the one song that you showed as well, and he thought my voice would sound really cool with some of the electronic tracks that he was creating. And
Yeah.
so he told my friend told me, so I sent this other friend a message saying, hey, I heard you liked the way my voice sounds. If ever you'd want me to try and write some top line on one of your tracks, let me know. I've never done this, but it sounds like fun. And then it took another, I think, year and a half before we sat down. But when we did, it was so much fun. And it was, we created one track like in an afternoon. And then he sent me something that he'd already made, and I wrote melody and lyrics to it. And then we thought, okay, let's do another one, and that was really fun too. So then we just turned it into a project.
And these guys are based in the Netherlands.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
guy's also based in Zwolle. Yeah.
And are you going? You're going up to the Netherlands today? Are you? You have a little concert you were saying coming up.
Yeah, well, we'll see
concert.
we'll see if I make it across the border. In principle,
Yeah.
Because it's my job, I should be allowed to do it. I actually did get information.
You did.
But yeah, so another project that I'm in, for now we've called it the Snow Whites. We'll see if we keep that name. But it's a project with 3 singers, including myself and a guitar player, and we're gonna play for some elderly homes in the next few weeks, and they've been playing a few times without me. It's not the repertoire that we would normally do, but because people are isolated and lonely, we thought we put our skills to good use and combine forces. And
Brilliant.
we will be playing outside. I mean, we will be respecting all the rules, but hopefully they will enjoy some distraction.
Yeah, the Snow Whites, and I saw a tip on your social media page with that outfit as well, and really, really lovely. Lots of harmonies and lots of acoustic based harmony music. Yeah, absolutely, it's lovely. It's but of course you're going to be when you sing as well as you do. Of course, you're going to be invited into all these different types of projects. The Snow Whites being kind of more country, would it be more country?
Yeah, it
folky?
will be more roots
Rootsy,
music.
yeah,
More rootsy. Yeah.
But Prospective, this is a track called Heat that I have here.
Yeah, that's not rootsy at all. That's more.
That's
like,
not rootsy at all. This is the electronic project that you're in. Tell me about your partner in crime here in Prospective.
Well, he's not a full-time musician, but he's a very talented one. He comes from a background of hip hop and more rap and electronica, and so he works with Ableton and creates tracks. And so I write top line, and the track we're gonna listen to was actually written also in this attic during a heat wave.
Oh yes.
So
and what's the man's name?
Volkert Brands, and
right.
his producer name is Brandsi. You can find him on social media as well.
Great. All right, let's have a listen to that track before YouTube is having a wobbly here, but that's okay. We'll we'll plow on. We'll plow on. Here's the electronic track called Prospective. From Prospective, it's called Heat. Also brilliant from Elisabeth Daniel. Yeah. Wow. Prospective Rocks folk. If that's your cup of tea, prospective.rocks. We'll give you all the links to that particular project, and that's also something completely different.
Yeah.
I mean, I have trouble enough singing with a band, knowing when to come in. I don't know how do you even go about counting that or knowing where your part is. I mean, that to me that's mind-boggling. I'm not being smart about it, but you know, like my biggest problem with singing with bands is is knowing when to come in. And I have trouble with that. So I play solo all the time. But how do you manage to like know when your part comes in when you sing something like
I think in the
ambient like
beginning,
that? I mean, live and obviously in studio, it's a different story.
yeah, well, in the beginning, focus comes from this electronics background, and so when he created tracks, he wasn't really thinking like a songwriter. So for me, coming from a singer-songwriter background, I was like, okay, so what is that part, and how does that so where does that come, and so
Mm.
where does that fit, so I had to learn to just let that go and to just not necessarily think in first verse, pre-chorus, chorus,
Yeah,
all that.
I know.
And then but then also, with this one, the trick is there's this you just don't hear any rhythm, and you don't hear any, and then you just keep counting in your
So,
head.
oh
You just
really? I was going
count.
to say,
Yeah.
is there any room for improvisation,
Well, I
or
mean,
does it have to
yes,
be
but
completely machinery?
no, like, because he does live production, so all the sound effects and whatever, that is live, but you do have a track that is
Yeah.
existing. So
Okay.
you work with a running track, and you have no room to maneuver unless you have agreed up front, like, that's the part where we
Yeah.
will just freewheel, and we have done that, and we're trying to do that a bit more. But yeah, I mean, it is a different thing from an
Yeah,
acoustic
completely.
set. Yeah,
There must be certain audio cues
yeah,
along the
definitely.
track. A beep or a bop or a
Yeah, and it's
that'll
just
kind of go right. Now's my part to do this. Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, it's just practice. It's like with anything. It looks like, oh yeah, she's singing that song, but in reality, you prepare and you practice.
Yeah, it's another word for me. Like I said, as you said, it's first chorus, pre-chorus, instrumental. Even that I have trouble with. But anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
it's I couldn't wrap my head around something like that. But it's great music, even if you're not really into that. It's there's a lot of ambience there. It's great stuff. And the best of luck with that project. I'll put
Thank
it up.
you.
I'll put up the web again. It's prospective.rocks. If anybody
Yes.
wants to check out that particular project. So it's you and the Dutchman.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. And folks, of course, ElisabethDaniel.com. And if you're watching on the Facebook, please give our page a like there as well. We're going to have one more song, and then we're going to come back, and I'm going to let you go. You have a busy day. You're heading north to the Netherlands.
Yeah, and hopefully not heading back in an hour.
And hopefully not going to be turned back at the border going, no.
Yeah.
Music, we don't like no music in Holland. No, sorry, go back.
Yeah.
Back. How will they do? The Dutch are great supporters of music. I think even
They
the
are.
Dutch police.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, but fingers crossed, and I hope for their sakes that they let me through.
They will. And for
Yeah.
the sake of the old folks that you're going to play for tomorrow morning as well.
Yeah, it would be
I
so
hope
nice
so.
to just join my band, it's yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Folks, I run a Café de Loge in Ghent.
Yeah.
Is a wonderful songwriter venue.
It is.
And the venue that actually got behind the YouTube channel to begin with. And they're one of the early sponsors of the channel, and I thank them very much for that. Mika and Jos are great people.
Yeah.
And it's a lovely venue, and we're looking forward to getting it back up and running again very soon when this thing dies down. But once a month they run a concert series called Tuesday Circle at the Loge. Tuesday Circle is basically Tuesday night gig where once a month musicians such as yourself and myself, we've all played it. We go in and we sing our 3 songs at the show. It's a beautiful listening room in the middle of Ghent.
It is.
And you played this song with a great piano player and guitarist himself. Whose name
It's Lennart.
is Leonard, and I can never remember poor Leonard's name. Leonard is on the piano here on this particular track. The song is called One of Those Years. Tell us a little bit about this great song.
I co-wrote this song with actually the guitar player from the Snow Whites. His name is Rob Bultz. And I remember we had a songwriting day planned, and one of those days got canceled. So I was taking a walk in the woods, and I was just kind of thinking about everything that had happened in the year, And so I came to the conclusion that the highs had been higher and the lows had been lower. And I was like, well, you know what? That's a song. So I wrote the chorus, and then we got together, and he brought some really great chord progressions to a potential verse, and I started singing over the verse.
Yeah.
And then we wrote a few songs that day, actually. So I took that home, and then I wrote the bridge, sent it to him, and he wrote the chords to it. So yeah.
Do you enjoy the co-writing process more than the solo writing process? Or do you find it such a big difference? I certainly do, but I don't know how you feel
Yeah,
about
it's
it.
a big difference. It is, but it's also really enriching because you learn from other people's process, and sometimes you have to compromise, but then something more beautiful comes out of that. So you learn from the way other people use language, and in the case of this song, I wrote the lyrics, and we co-wrote the music, and so Rob has a vast knowledge of chords, and he's written a lot of songs, so it was really fun to write with someone who is fast, and determined. So you learn to think on your feet, and you get something done, and that was a
Yeah.
really fun experience.
Yes. Again, some people really enjoy that process. Some people find it difficult. I think you need a click with the right person to do it.
Exactly. Yeah,
Um,
you just need to have a click with someone.
you
Yeah.
also need somebody who's not afraid to say no, I don't like it.
Yep. Yeah,
I
you
think
have
that's
to.
also important.
Yeah,
That you're
and
not
I
gonna.
mean,
Yeah.
it is vulnerable because songwriting comes from you as a person, so you can't take it as rejection, or you can't be too sensitive about it. You just have to work in function of creating something beautiful, and if something beautiful means that you have to kill your darlings, then you kill your darlings and you
Kill
create
your
something more
darlings. I love it.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to you try to improve your children as best you can.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's just not fun, but in the end, you do become a better songwriter for it.
Yeah. Well said. Right, folks. Let's have the last song of this stream today is going to be one of those years, and you get to hear the lovely violin playing as well as
Oh,
singing
I was
this
so
time.
nervous that day, so this is not my best performance, but hey, I
Were
love this
you?
song. So.
Well, I thought you did great. This is from Choose the Circle at the Loge.
Oh, yeah,
And yeah, Leonard on piano, an amazing songwriter too. Check out Leonard. He has a song
yeah.
on
Do
on
check
the
him
on
out
the
because
YouTube
he's
channel.
great
Yeah,
and
Leonard,
lovely guy.
Linard, Leonard. You'll find him if you search him on my on the YouTube channel here. He's wonderful. But this is a wonderful Elisabeth Daniel song. Enjoy it, folks. We'll be back in a second to say our goodbyes.
those years where the highs have been higher and the lows have been lower, and everything's magnified. I'm walking with my shoes in the sand and with my hair in the wind. I'm dancing on my toes in the sea, but with my tears drying in the sun. I've been burning like a house made of wood, but I have yet to see my flames. I've been floating like a sea, soaking shores, but I have yet to feel my waves. So waiting for the wind to blow, and I'm waiting for the tide to change. 'Cause it's been one of those years where the highs have been higher and the lows have been lower, and everything's magnified. It's been one of those years where the highs have been higher and the lows have been lower, and everything's magnified.
I was very glad to have been there
Yeah,
with the
you were there.
cameras
Yeah.
to record that. Yeah, it was a special moment, and the audience loved it, and as you can tell by the reaction. Yes,
Yeah.
you know, I know you're a little bit self-critical sometimes, maybe too much so.
Yeah, I'm a perfectionist in
You
that,
are.
and so I need to. I know that about myself, and I need to just let go at a certain point and be like, you know what, this is good.
But you're getting better at it.
Yeah, I'm getting better at it. I can enjoy, because I love performing and I love
do.
singing and I love doing it. So, you know, I don't want my own crap to get in the way of really enjoying what I do, what I love
Yeah.
most.
No, but it's very evident. And when you do it, you can see it. You blossom. So keep
Yeah.
doing it. You do a
I
great
will.
job.
Thank you
thank you
so
so
much.
much indeed. Indeed, thank you so much for being here with us over the last hour.
It's my
Again, it
pleasure.
went very quickly. It flew. Um,
Yeah.
I hope to see you when the dust settles. We'll
Yeah.
meet up for a wine chat.
Yeah, we
We will.
definitely will.
We
Yeah, and
definitely will.
I'll be better at guitar because of you. So thank you for
Well, we'll keep
everything.
that going as well, and I'll see you for the next lesson. We'll do a bit of Skyping.
All
Hi,
right.
Mary Duffy as well from Ireland. Nice to see you, Mary. Thanks for tuning
Bye.
in. We're just saying goodbye here to everybody.
And
But
yeah.
thank you all very much for joining in, for all the lovely comments.
Yeah, and
Elisabeth,
thank you. Thank you for tuning in to see me. So thank you so much. Yeah.
tot de volgende keer, meisje.
Ja, tot de volgende keer. Bye.
There you go, folks. The beautiful and talented, uber talented Elisabeth Daniel there, and it was lovely to talk to her. And thank you all very, very much for tuning in. As always, pleasure to see you all. Please hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell there so you don't miss a thing. The RWRroom.com is the website. We'll give you all the social media links as well. Please follow us along on Instagram and on Facebook, and we'll see each other very soon on the next Raving with Rua. Look after yourselves.